Hello, my name is Hassan, and I'm a digital literacy specialist for Markham Public Library. And today we're going to learn how to make our very own comic strip and infographic. We'll try and focus on making one to help our loved ones become more digitally literate. So you may be asking, why a comic? Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Why not create personalized sets to help people learn how to connect to the internet, use their phone, and more? Now, the resource we're going to learn how to use today is called MakeBeliefsComics.com. It is a free web-based comic resource. So the URL is on my top search bar above. It should be on the top of your screen, MakeBeliefsComics.com. And the way it works is you're actually allowed to, you can create an account either through the website or you just log in using your Google account. And what you can do is name your comic as well as provide authors. It's pretty fun. I had a great time playing around with it. But before we actually get started with the comic component, and you can see that I can actually adjust and go through all my panels here. The one I have on my screen as an example is how to borrow an ebook using the library. And there's a couple of things I need to do to get it to work. So I actually just made a little document over here. I recommend doing this as well, just to write down your thoughts and ideas. The first thing I want to do is I want to write down what exactly I was making. So I wanted to plan that out first. And what I chose to do is I want to show people how to borrow an ebook from the library. So that's my main concept. And my second thing I wanted to keep up with is, who is my audience? My audience in this case are my loved ones. So I wanted to make it something personalized. And the third thing I needed to keep in mind, and this one's most important, what facts are required. Now, I know that I wanted to create a document so that I could help my loved ones access ebooks from the library really easily. But that could be said for anything. So let's say you wanted to create something that to show someone how to connect their device to the internet, or show someone how to actually use their smart television. I need to come up with step-by-step instructions to make that happen before I even draw anything on my actual comic panel. So what I decided was, how do you get an ebook from the library? So I went through it step by step. Well, you'll definitely need some sort of computer or a tablet or a phone. If you want to break it down even more, you might need to know the specific tablet or specific device. Like, let's just say someone has an iPad versus someone who has an Android tablet. Are the steps the same for all devices? In my case, no, right? Android and Apple, am I using an e-reader? I'll simplify to start. So I might need to start to make my comic more accessible. I might need to simplify my steps to make it as easy as possible for my audience to follow it. I'll also need a Markham Public Library card. Definitely need an internet connection, and at least to borrow it for the first time. And you'll need access to the Play Store or the App Store. So here's a lot of steps as is, but if you can break it down even more, you have to think about what device the person has, how old is it, it can still work with the actual system that you have in place. Now, in order to keep all of that in mind, what we'll need to do is actually practice, right? Like anything else. So what I ended up doing is I just asked my loved one what sort of device they have. And they have an Android tablet, and that's what they usually would like to use to read their ebooks with. I'll show everyone what it looks like on my screen. Now, if you go to www.markhampubliclibrary.ca, it's a great resource for accessing a lot of the library's electronic collection, especially when the branches themselves are closed in most capacities. But what you can do is, if you click eLibrary, to access a lot of our ebooks to start, you can click Format eBooks, or what I'm going to do is click Overdrive. Now, Overdrive is one of the library's biggest resources with regards to ebooks, but you can also borrow ebooks on your phone. Just to show everyone here, you can even nowadays sign up for an instant digital library card. So if someone does not have a library card and really wants to sign up for one and they can't physically go into the branch right now, you can sign up for a library card virtually. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact your local library through the library's website or by calling. But I just wanted to let everyone know that exists. Over here on our end here, you can have access to all our ebooks here, but that main application we'll be using on our device, for my sake, an Android tablet would be Libby. it's a fresh and easy way to borrow and read from your library. Now, this application works alongside your library account, and it is free to use. So this is me doing my research here. I'm saying I know I need to use Libby. I know that I'm going to use a specific device, and those are my first couple of steps for sure. That being said, what I'll do is would normally take a tablet that runs the same idea as Android and try and practice that. So I'd go download Libby from the Play Store, and I would download it to my device, and I would write down each step that I need. So downloading Libby and going to the place would be my first step. Now I'm gonna just go back to the comic part, and just to change gears a little bit. So let's just say in your head you knew that you actually had written down each step you need to access the ebooks from the library. What you can now do is use the actual makebelievescomics.com to create your comic strip. Now, to actually add stuff and panels, let me just save this, update. So when you actually create an account, so I've created one, you can actually update and save stuff. That being said, you can use it without creating an account as well. It's just if you want to like save your comics and look at them again, you might need to create an account, which is really, it's like 2 seconds for me. But just click login usually, and it's going to ask for an account for you to sign up on the top right hand corner. Now, the way all of this stuff works, you can actually create panels step by step. So I've created a little comic here. I've created little backgrounds. I've picked a character. And what I'm doing is adding helpful text. So this gentleman here, he has his tablet, and he says, how can I use the library to read books on this thing? So I know that my loved one has an Android tablet. So what I've done is I've created a character. We'll just call him like Library Dog here. So we're gonna go to, Library Dog says, go to the Play Store or the App Store, download the Libby app. So one step done. And also you'll notice very visual, easy to follow and understand so far. And my first panel just shows my setting as well as my character. And then I'm starting to add little bits of instruction as the panels go on. Now, after which, when you download the application and you open it, what you'll need to do is add your local library. What I'll do is I'll ask for libraries all over the world, essentially, mostly in North America, but all over the world as well. But what you can do is type in the name of your library. So in this particular case, you're going to type in Markham Public Library, and you would type that into the search bar. So that would be one of my steps. The reason being is it'll let you access everything in that collection and with regards to ebooks. So you want to type Markham Public Library into the search bar. You want to make sure you're picking the one in Canada, because there is a Markham Public Library somewhere in the United States as well. But what you can do is, so I've written one step down there. And what I can do after that is I wanted to add your library card number and PIN. So I made sure to make note of every single step required, just to make it as easy as possible for my loved one to understand where I'm coming from. So you would add your library card number and PIN. Now your library card number is usually on the back of your library card. And your PIN, if you've never used it before, or if your loved one doesn't really use their online services, would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That being said, if you don't know your PIN, or if you've forgotten, you'll feel free to contact the library if you don't know your PIN. So if you go to the library website, for example, you have access to Ask MPL. So what the person could do is ask someone on staff, and that person will be happy to help you with resetting your PIN, or even just giving you a new PIN as well. But I'm gonna keep going here. So here's how it works. What you could do is, this is where I actually looked at my tablet and I made sure I'm following all the steps. And I noticed that there's a search bar on the top. And what I did is searched up my favorite books. So I searched up Harry Potter. And what that does is it told me how many Harry Potter books the library has is in electronic format. So in a way that I can read it on my phone. And what I could do is search for books by title, author, and more. So if you tap borrow, what you can do is access the book, and you have access as long as Libby tells you. So depends on the item. Some items are more popular than others. I borrowed a book for 3 weeks, but sometimes you can get it for less depending on if it's popular, or there's different tiers for that sort of thing. But definitely just do whatever Libby tells you to do. Now, with regards to ebooks, the great thing about them is that there are no late fees associated, so you can borrow ebooks and you won't have to worry about being charged for anything if things are late, or if things are on time, or if you return something early as well. So that's one big step. So knowing how to actually borrow books on it, that's a big one. So that's something you would have to add to your comic strip as well. So you can access your books by tapping shelf on your screen, and you can also place and return holds on items. So the shelf app basically is your account. So what you can do is keep track of everything that you borrow, everything that you've returned, and you can also keep track of everything you place on hold as well. So this is where I chose to end my comic, even though you could actually add more steps if you wanted to make it more fun and more interesting. But now that I've explained kind of like the format, I want to show everyone how to actually use the comic system. So I'm going to click start over. I'm going to erase and start over just to start a new one. I just wanted to show everyone what that looks like. Now, to actually manipulate